I agree with my colleagues and appreciate Mr. Peterson bringing this forward. As he said, it's something that many of us, including me, have criticized in the past. I think it might be a good place, besides Mr. Smerelson, or kind of a collection of a couple board members looking at the resolution more closely, for the board kind of rules, the governance rules working group to look at this as well. I know that when we did do a brief amendment to the board rules, when we were new board members, one of the things we did is like peg public comment to 4 p.m. for our board meetings, and little attempts to make sure that there was at least certainty so that parents wouldn't come at 1 and sit till 7 p.m., but we stop our meetings at 4. There's a lot more that we can do. I think, looking at time of meetings, location, we've, like I mentioned earlier today, brought our committee of the whole out to communities, but that, being in Pacoima is great for the folks in the Northeast Valley, really hard for folks in San Pedro. Looking at balancing the needs of our families who come to speak to at our board meetings and who would like to, with our employees. You kind of see some of them here, but there are tons of people in this building or who stay in this building during board meetings because they may be called at any point to ask a question. Working families for whom, or working parents who during the day it's hard to come, versus families with kids at home who in the evening it's tough to come. And also balancing competing values. I think in looking at the resolution that was proposed, having a meeting time that's short and it's only a few hours, but ensuring that we hear from all voices are really tough things to do. Looking at delegation to the superintendent, which is something we're talking about in our board rules. The more we delegate, the more streamlined our board meetings will come, but then less discussion and control the board has. I mean, the city, their public comment is 2 minutes, so I know that there's been suggestions even from folks in the audience to do that so you can hear from more voices, but then folks who are speaking would only have 2 minutes instead of 3. We do want to collect more data. I think it's a great point. To Mr. Smerelson's point, we might hear from a mixed bag. I know I'll always think of the survey we sent to families around the start times for the school year, where you had thousands of parents who said, we want school to start after Labor Day, but in August. Which is, tough, but it just goes to show that there are a lot of competing issues. But that being said, it's something we should consider to look at. Everything from wait times, which I know the board secretariat's office has helped when meetings are particularly packed, with wristbands and making sure that we're equitable in who gets in. I know that we've discussed, and I think Mr. Smerelson has mentioned this a few times, equity in sides of an issue, which could lead to the number of, or the increase the number of public speakers, but at least have some parity there. So lots that we should explore, and my office would be happy to look at these changes as well.